Dear participants, I, Dr. Sivoham Singh, first of all, welcome all of you in the 1 week faculty development program cum workshop on quantitative methods for research. In today's first session, we will discuss about the quantitative methods for hypothesis testing. At the very outset, I would like to congratulate to all of you for taking a right decision to participate in this 1 week FDP. This FDP will help you in deciding the right kind of a tool to analyze the data and how we have to take the right kind of decisions on the basis of inferences drawn. The first question which will arise in our mind, that what is research? Research is systematic inquiry whose objective is to provide information to solve the real world problems. Research is done to move from known to unknown, because unknown is bigger, as we don't know what we don't know. Just try to understand. Known and unknown, because we do not know what we know. The research provides the knowledge and skills needed for fast-paced decision-making environment. Before we conduct any kind of a research, first of all, we have to design the research. We have to discuss and we have to plan about the research design. Like before construction of any house, as we go to the architect for the blueprint of the house, and that fellow design the blueprint, and that blueprint is the basic key that how we will move ahead. Similarly, in the research design plays that vital role. It is a blueprint that outlines each procedure from the hypothesis to the analysis. It is a plan for selecting the source and type of information used to answer research questions, a framework for specifying the relationships among the study variable. We are keeping the theoretical aspect limited, and that's why we have allocated somewhere 35 minutes for this particular theoretical discussion, and other whole week will be purely based upon the hands-on experience and working with the real world data. So here I would like to discuss about the data. There are 4 types of data: nominal, ordinal, interval and ratio. First, nominal data. Nominal data is the data where we provide a unique number or name for any of the item, like our vehicle registration number. If anyone's vehicle registration number is 20, it doesn't mean it is twice costly than the vehicle number 10, or it is double luxury than the vehicle number 10. 20 do not have any relation with any other number. It is neither superior than 19 nor inferior than 21. This 21 or 20 or 19 is just a number for identification. It do not have any relationship with its quality or its parameters. Similarly, in the cricket, any of the cricketer is having the t-shirt or jersey of 99 number or 100, or that may be 92 number. It doesn't mean that he is superior than the other player having the jersey of 20 number. Nominal scale, we do not have any order, it is not having the any interval, and it do not have any origin. Ordinal scale, order, rank. Here one is better than the other. Order is there, but the gap between the two ranks may or may not be equal. For instance, in a class there are 3 candidates. One got 16 marks, another got 12 marks, and another got 4 marks. So the gap between the first and second is 16 and 12 means 4. And second and third means is 12 and 4 means 8. So the interval may not be the same. Origin is not there. Similarly, interval scale, here we have the order. Yes, one is better than the other, but the gap may or may not be equal between the two numbers, and it do not have any origin. The best scale is ratio. It has the order, it has the equality in the interval, and it has zero origin. There are two types of variables: independent variable and dependent variable. Independent variables are those variables which takes their own value themselves, and dependent variables value is derived from the value of other variable. That's why independent variable and dependent variable. These two we will use in correlation and regression. Once we have to analyze, we have to go for the descriptive statistics. In the descriptive statistics, we use three kinds of descriptive distributions. One is in the terms of location. Here we use central tendency, and within central tendency we use mean, median and mode. Central tendency is the central value. That central value may be mean. Mean means arithmetic mean. Mean means on an average. Median means mid-term value. Half of the item lie above and half of the item lie below. And mode means the item having highest frequency, or the item which occurs most of the time. Spread. Spread is judged with the help of variance and standard deviation, range and interquartile range. Variance is the square of standard deviation. We use standard deviation and variance in the case of t-test, z-test, chi-square test, and ANOVA in the case of parametric test, and in f-test also. Shape provides the whether our data is uniformly distributed or it is having certain kind of bias that we judge with the help of skewness and kurtosis. Now, the first question, because whenever we go for hypothesis testing, the name itself suggests that hypothesis testing means we must have a hypothesis for which we are going for the testing. What is hypothesis? A hypothesis is a proposition or set of proposition set forth as an explanation for the occurrence of some specified group of phenomena, either asserted merely as a provisional conjecture to guide some investigation or accepted as highly probable in the light of established facts. It is the theoretical definition. If we will talk about the practical one, the hypothesis is the mere assumption based upon the previous researches, based upon the best of the knowledge we have, what it could be, what is the relevance, what is the relationship, which we assume in advance before conducting the research. A good research, good hypothesis must have the three prerequisites. It must be adequate for its purpose, must be testable, must be better than its rivals, all other options available with us. This is the best statement which seems to be good or fitted for our particular research. There are two types of hypothesis. One is null hypothesis and another is alternate hypothesis. We represent null hypothesis with the help of H naught and we represent alternate hypothesis with the help of HA. H naught means, if we talk about the H naught and if we talk about the HA, H naught null hypothesis, HA alternate hypothesis. H naught, that no statistical significant difference between the parameter and the statistic being compared. H naught always tells that there is no difference between A and B. Alternate hypothesis may say that there is difference, or it may say A is better than B or B is better than A. But H naught always presume that there is no difference. For instance, in today's context, if some company is saying that my medicine is quite efficient for curing the COVID-19 patients, so we will not assume simply whatever they are saying. First of all, we will just check with the experiments, with the results of the patients, that whether this medicine is effective than the other or not. Until and unless that is not tested, not supported by the relevant research, we will not select it as the effective medicine. There are two types of tails in the hypothesis testing. One is two-tailed test and another is one-tailed test. Two-tailed test, non-directional test, considers two possibilities. One-tailed test, directional test, either on the upper side or on the lower side. Okay, two-tailed test means equal or not. Equal or not. If something is more, not equal. If something is less, not equal. In one-tailed test, it is equal or more, equal or less. So we have one direction. We will discuss it with the relevant example. Two-tailed test. The rejection lies on both the sides. And hypothesis tells us equal to or not equal to. Two sample means or population means population mean are equal or not. If something is equal, very good. It may not equal. If something is more than the mean, not equal. If something is less than the mean, not equal. If I will give a very basic example which we normally discuss in the class, if someone is asked to fill in 500 ml milk in the Amul factory, but due to the certain variations, there are some variation. His boss tell that you are supposed to fill 500 ml, but 5 ml plus minus is okay. So his job will be at risk if he will fill the milk more than 505 and if he will fill less than 495. He will be at the risk on the both the sides. If he fill more, fired. If he will fill less, fired. And that's why he has to be in between. So he is in the risk on both the sides. The risk lies in the both the sides, upper side as well as lower side as well as two-tailed. On the other hand, one-tailed test. Something is equal or less. The rejection lies only one side. Something is equal or more. The rejection lies on the other side only, one side only. If I will give the example for this, some salesperson is asked to go for 4 lakh rupees sales, and his boss told him that I can take care of up to 50,000. So his job will be at risk when he will go for the target less than 3.5 lakh. If he go less sales than 3.5, he will be fired. If he will go for 10 lakh sale, boss will welcome. No risk. Target was 4 lakh. If he go above, no risk. If he go below, he will be fired. Similarly, on the other hand, if my mother asks me to purchase the bring the mango, and she tell me that the price is 100 rupee per kg and 20 rupee variation may be there, I will be scolded that when I will purchase the mango above 120. Mean was 100, 20 was the limit. If I will go above 120, I will be scolded. But if I will purchase at rupee 40, 30, 20 or 80, no, scolding is there. I will be welcomed. So risk is only one side. There are two types of errors in the testing. One is type 1 error and another is type 2 error. Type 1 error occurs when we reject a true hypothesis, and type 2 error occurs when we accept the false null hypothesis. We can discuss it with the relevant example with particular table. There is true H naught. H naught is true. If we accept it, good decision. H naught is true and our sample suggests that we should accept it and we accept it, true decision, correct decision. If H naught is true but we reject it because of the sample, that is error, type 1 error. On the other hand, if H naught is false, still we accept it, that is again error. That is known as type 2 error or beta error. H naught is false and we reject it, correct decision. Lot was good. For instance, if I just give you a very basic example, if I go to purchase the grapes, bunch was good, but unfortunately the sample I selected that also suggested that that lot is good. My decision is correct. If the lot was good, the bunch was good, but that single piece which I selected, that was not good, I will reject the whole lot. That is type 1 error. Lot is good, but sample suggests to reject it. Type 1 error. Lot was bad, still I accepted it because my one piece was good. Wrong decision. Type 2 error, beta error. Lot was bad and I rejected that. Correct decision. This is the flow chart of solving any of the hypothesis testing procedure. First of all, we need H naught and HA. H naught and HA means first we must have hypothesis. Then we will go for level of significance. Then we will go for sampling procedures. We will select the sample and we will calculate the sample value with the help of the different statistical tools. And then we will compare it with the tabled values. If it is less, accept it. If it is greater than, we will reject it. But with nowadays in the Excel and SPSS or SysStat, we directly get the probability values. There are two types of test. One is parametric test and another is non-parametric test. Parametric test. Okay, before I will discuss about the parametric test, I will discuss three different words. One is population. Population means collection of all possible options. And study of all is known as census. And result of census is known as population parameter. Whenever we will talk about the parameter, means I am talking about the result of whole population. So, if researcher is ready to assume that his sample is as good as population parameter, then he will apply parametric test. That is possible only when the observation come from the large population, and population parameters like mean, variance must hold good with the sample. That means if researcher is ready to assume that his sample is as good as the population parameter, then he will apply parametric test. If not, he will apply non-parametric. We also call it distribution free test. When researcher cannot or do not want to make any assumption about the population parameter, he will go for non-parametric test. And normally these tests use nominal or ordinal data. In parametric, normally there are four important tools. One is Z-test, T-test, chi-square and F-test. These are the basic four tests which we use in parametric tests. In parametric test, we are going to check for these two. We are going to compare mean, and with the help of these two we are going to compare variance. Z and T tests are used to compare mean, and chi-square and F test are used to compare variance. To compare mean, which kind of mean? Sample versus population mean and sample versus sample mean. we can compare mean in two cases. In one case, sample mean versus population mean, and in other case, sample mean versus sample mean. We have two options. One is Z and another is T. We can apply Z in both the situations, sample versus population or sample versus sample. Similarly, we can apply T in both the cases, sample versus population or sample versus sample. To compare mean, it is notable that to compare mean only we have these two options. We apply Z test when the sample size is large and population variance is known. Large means more than 30. In case of t-test is applied when the sample is small and population variance is unknown. Again I am telling you that the most important thing is population variance. If it is known, go for Z. If it is unknown, go for T, irrespective of sample size. Irrespective of sample size. To compare variance, we have two options. One is chi-square and another is f-test. Chi-square is used to compare the sample variance with population variance. If I have to compare sample variance with population variance, I will apply chi-square. If we have to compare sample variance of two independent variances, then I will go for f-test. Means sample versus population variance, chi-square. If I have to go for sample variance versus sample variance, f-test. Chi-square is also used as non-parametric test for goodness of fit as well as to test the independence. F-test is also used in ANOVA for comparing more than two sample means at same time. If you have to compare two sample mean, t-test as well as z-test. But if you have to compare more than two sample means simultaneously in a single trial itself, I will go for ANOVA. There I will use f-test. Hope it has cleared your doubts in the area of hypothesis testing. In the next session, we will start playing with the numbers with the help of data collected with you, and then we will learn how to apply parametric tests and how to apply non-parametric tests, how to calculate correlation, how to calculate regression, multiple correlation and multiple regression. Thank you very much, and we will meet in session 2 with the numbers. Please download the sheet shared to you, and I will request to all of you to go for 2 screens from the next session onwards, because in one screen I am going to share with my screen, and on the second screen in your computer or laptop you will be working with me with your own data, and then we will be applying the same kind of test and techniques there. Thank you very much. Thank you.